two things that are happening that are really important is to look outside whatever you're doing, to understand that a huge amount of change is coming from other industries, but it's coming your way. And so there are solutions presently being implemented in businesses that are coming our way, and it goes the other way too. And so, as an example, you probably have seen this machine. It's the free Coke machine, it's called, and in Chipotle or something, you know, you can get 160 flavors of Coca-Cola by pressing just a few buttons on this machine. Now, the soda business, which is on its way out, and by the end of this decade, thank God, I guess, I'm a big Diet Coke drinker, so it's hard for me to say that, but by the end of this decade, water will actually be selling more than sugar beverages, so that's good news. Anyway, the soda business used to be about a box, and inside the box was a bag, and inside the bag was 19 gallons of water and 1 gallon of syrup. That's how Coke was delivered. With the advent of this new machine, you attach the machine to a tap water outlet, you filter it, it comes in, and then these little guys up in the corner here, these little cartridges, which are micro-precision dosages, which, by the way, came from the medical community for precision dosage of cancer drugs. They're now shooting little flavors, and they're all controlled by the computers, into these water streams, and that's how we get 160 different flavors. So cartridge technology, precision dosing has moved from hyper-technical medicine into sort of, you know, sugar beverages. But here's what's really important. It's become a powerful two-way device, and this is what's amazing about the connectivity and the internet and how we live today, because everybody who presses that button is sending information back to Coke every single day in the millions, saying that in Atlanta, here are the flavor preferences. And so as a result, they've got millions of us participating in focus groups and surveys, all involuntarily, but because it's convenient, because it makes a lot of sense. So we're seeing more and more of that. And the test is always the same. The test is, what are we doing now? Who's doing it better? If no one's doing it better, then we still better get busy, because the nature of disruptive innovation, the nature of change, is from the bottom up. And so, to give you an idea, Eric Schmidt, a pretty smart guy, the head of Google, the chairman of Google, called Twitter sort of poor man's email. People laughed at Wikipedia. Keep in mind, 74,000 people every single day for free are now maintaining Wikipedia. And then Facebook recently paid $1 billion for something called Instagram, which for a few weeks, people thought $1 billion was a lot of money. Then they paid $19 billion for WhatsApp, so that was paled by comparison. And the transaction closed this week, and it actually turned out to be about $22 billion because Facebook's stock has continued to go up. But when they bought Instagram, people thought it was a huge miss, and it's turned out to be really astonishingly valuable for them. The other part of this idea is measurement. And it's really critical. When we talk about efficacy, we're talking about putting a stick in the ground, saying, here's what we're going to try to do. Maybe we won't get there, but we need to have metrics in order to measure performance. And we need to also watch out for a couple of things that are really important. First of all, you can pursue this dream forever, but if the horizon keeps receding, there's probably something wrong with your methodology. Number two is there's always an excuse. There's always something that happened this time. It still didn't work, but something happened this time, so we call that the always another other. And then lastly, you need to understand that sometimes you're just flogging the wrong horse, and you need to do something better or different. But the real risk is in big companies. The beauty of startups is that if we don't do it right, we're dead. So it's existential. Big companies have sort of an unfortunate luxury, which is they don't want to be the bad in anyone's day. So mediocre things can persist much longer than they should, and they consume very scarce resources that could be much better applied. So you need to be sort of vigilant about that. You need to ask on a regular basis, are we getting the kind of results that we said we needed to get? And if not, we have to make some hard decisions. And if you don't do that, if you're not prepared to measure and hold people accountable, then the process will not be successful for you. So as I say, start small. Focus on things that you can accomplish. Celebrate your wins. Celebrate these early successes. And, you know, it's great to reward effort or recognize effort, but in terms of finances and in terms of the real metrics, it's results that matter, and nothing else really is important. So when I talk about this process of iteration and step-by-step improvement, it's something that every one of us can do every single day if we want to do it, and if we take the time and we commit the effort. And so I call this successive approximation rather than postponed perfection, that we'd rather be enthusiastic and try some of these things, even if sometimes it doesn't work out, than sort of sitting back and letting the stuff happen to us. It's very much, I've never armed anything, so I'm told this, but I'm told you go back and forth, and eventually it gets smoother and everything else. Now that's really the process, okay? It's experiment, it's modify what you're doing, it's react to this stuff, measure this stuff, do it again, and do it again and again and again, and you discover that it becomes part of your habits and the way you practice whatever it is that you practice and that you want to do.